Hello and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Space Marine. Kill this guy and we're good. Into the rock.
No room for that jump pack.
Yeah, and that's how it limits your use of the jump pack a lot. You know, you basically get it for short segments at a time, which can be a little frustrating, but honestly, because of how powerful the jump pack is, I think it actually works pretty well. Because it just means that every time you get it, you're like, oh yes, I get to play with this for a bit. You know, it doesn't give you anywhere near long enough to get bored of your new toy before it takes it away from you again. Okay, into the rock we go. In case you're not aware, orc rocks are literally just honking great asteroids that they fill up with a load of orcs and then crash straight into whatever planet they want to invade. It's about the most subtle thing the orcs do, actually. Because they are not exactly a subtle race. Let's face it, they call their leaders knobs and big knobs, for God's sake.
Clearing this place will take days.
Those guardsmen cannot survive that long. We find a way to destroy the gun.
Probably the best option. Gotta deny the orcs it. Ah, the Vengeance Launcher. To the best of my knowledge, the Vengeance Launcher is actually something completely unique for this game, and honestly, it's kind of worthless. I don't use it at all. You know, I'd rather have a gun that actually kills the enemy rather than one that just sort of mines the area where he's about to be. I suspect there are probably people who play this game who can, you know, just butcher entire armies using nothing but the Vengeance Launcher. It's just not my style. You know, I'm more an instant gratification kind of murderer. Like that. Oh, yes. I say, there are some times when you want to play something that's sophisticated. Sometimes that you want to play something that's going to make you feel. And then there are times when you just want to play something that'll make you just go, oh yes, with the sheer glorious violence of it all. Come on, guys, where are you?
Look here, Captain. Melter charges.
Fantastic.
With those in the right place, and this whole fortress will come down.
We could put the charge on one of the gun's shells.
Good thinking.
Leandros, you do the chapter proud.
Pick up the melter charge. If memory serves, he's actually... Nope. Could have sworn that you actually see the melter charge in his belt. That's obviously just later with a plot critical item. Oh yeah! And I love the fact that all the orcs around you flinch while their colleague explodes over them. Because don't get me wrong, orcs are stupid, but they're not completely stupid. You know, they see one of their number getting his guts completely eviscerated in front of them, and that's enough to give them a little bit of pause. And then they run in the hope of eviscerating you because they're just that kind of race. Basically, they were literally made for war. You know, they were bred by the Catan to fight the Necrons. Not Catan. No, they were bred by the old ones to fight the Necrons, and the Necrons served the Catan. There we go. I knew the Catan were involved in there somewhere, I just needed my brain to tick over and remember who was fighting whom. Yes, there is an awful lot of lore, backstory, and world building to the 40k universe, and almost all of it involves violence. You know, when they say there is only war, that's not a slogan, that's pretty literal. You know, everything in the 40k universe comes back to who's killing whom and for what reason. And with what improbably oversized weapon. Fun fact, I actually know a guy who built a working chainsword. I mean, it's electrically powered, and the problem, and because of the size of the hilt, he could only fit a few AA batteries in it. So it only runs for like 10 minutes at a time before it runs out of power completely. But it's pretty wicked. Bye bye. So yeah, as I say, I know a lot of very weird people. I'm still not sure how come. It's probably because of most of the bugger. It's probably because most of the people I socialise are into sword-based combat. Because let's face it, that's where most of my socialising is done these days. You know, since I left university, the vast majority of my socialising has been done at weekly meetings of the Hotspur School of Defence. If you're not aware, the Hotspur School of Defence is a school in Newcastle and generally the northeast of England. We used to have a chapter in York, but they've grown to the point where we decided having them as a chapter of our school isn't really fair to them anymore, so they're now the York School of Defence. Yeah, but we're still on very good terms with each other. We're maintaining close ties, and we'll be doing events together and things like that. So yeah, you know, it had just reached the point where they were, you know, couldn't really call themselves a sub-chapter of us anymore, so that's fine. Yeah, so you know, we meet on a Wednesday, a Thursday, and quite often Sundays as well for some people. Yes, and you know, we get together and we learn medieval sword fighting using treatises written at the time. You know, and a lot of it's very, very interesting because you realise, you know, because several of our members have learned other martial arts in the past, and it's amazing how much of it, you know, translates back and forth. Because a lot of the time when you see sword fighting in things like, you know, video games or in TV shows, what they're doing is what we tend to refer to as caveman club fighting. You know, they're not using the sword the way it was designed to be used.
We need to get the shell into that loader.
You've got to love the scale of the damn things.
There. I will place the charge on that shell.
And you've got to love the fact they bother putting iconography on a bloody, you know, giant shell. Need to get around the other side, don't I? Slap the melter charge on it.
Shell into place.
Now to get it into the loader. You know, that really puts into context how damn strong Space Marines are when they're in their armour. Given the size of that shell, even if it's on a rail, he's pushing that thing.
We cannot
That's
rely
bloody
on luck
huge.
for this, Sidonus. We follow the shell up and make sure it reaches its destination.
Very sensible precaution. Back to the lift we go. Yes, as I say, you know, and I say medieval sword fighting really is kind of fascinating in its own way. I don't know if that was the one that said they ain't so tough, but whichever one said it deserved a bolt around through the head. I mean, granted, those are Gretchens? Yeah, those are Gretchens. Yo, so it doesn't exactly take a lot to kill one of them. Gotcha. These guys, you actually have to hammer the attack button in order to make sure your execution move comes through, which is fine. Unless you're using the game's best weapon, but you'll see that when we get to it. If you're a Warhammer fan, you can probably guess what the game's best weapon is.
This is not a drill.
No kidding, it's not a drill. Do you think everybody had noticed the massive army of orcs? And I still love the way that the orcs spell everything wrong. Because it's orcs with a K, by the way. You know, and they have a habit of using Zs rather than Ss. You know, so their leaders are Nobs, N-O-B-Z. You know, and then you've got big knobs, Arbor knobs. I wonder if the creators knew what the word knob means in... Certainly in this country. I don't know if it's a slang term for the same thing in other countries, but in Britain, knob means penis. Yeah. You know, what can we say? It's just our brand of humour. Oh god, I love how violent this game is. You know, no part of the 40k universe is pleasant. Let's face it, even if you're living on, say, Terra, you know, I'm willing to bet that there's probably a lot of things like burning of heretics that goes on even on Terra itself. Because I can only imagine they're really paranoid about any chaos infection on Terra. When they're paranoid about it everywhere else, I can only imagine it's worse on Earth itself.
There, a secondary lift.
Because let's face it, zealotry is always a problem. There was an interesting article I was reading the other day where the quote is, we've had... Space Marines are actually really kind of fascinating in their own way, but we've had a lot of games about them. So let's get some love for the Sisters of Battle in. And yeah, I would love a game similar to this, where you actually got to play as a Sister of Battle. For those who don't know, the Sisters of Battle are the militant wing of the Ordo Hereticus? I think they're the Ordo Hereticus. Or are they the Ordo Malleus? No, the Ordo... Hang on. The Ordo Xenos uses kill teams as their chamber militant. No, it's the Ordo Hereticus use the Grey Knights and the Ordo... No, the Ordo Malleus uses the Grey Knights. And the Ordo Hereticus must logically use the Sisters of Battle as their chamber militant. Anyway, I'll stop using words that non-Warhammer 40k fans don't know. Ah, another Purity Seal. Ah, Marksman mode and Fury. I haven't actually used Fury mode yet. Which is what the thing down in that corner is. It's potentially very useful, but I tend to save it for the moments when I need it. Yes, and you'll notice he's gained a second Purity Seal on his left pauldron. Probably have to use it here, actually. I usually do. Could have executed him, but didn't need to at that time.
There's our shell.
Let's get it back in the gun.
Pulled it out of sequence.
Then we put it back.
Keep
Leandros, get the
Leandros,
shell
get
into
shoving.
that loader. I will cover you.
You're the new guy, so you get the terrible job. Here they come. Yes, as I say, the Sisters of Battle are basically an order of warrior nuns who use power armor very similar to the Space Marine stuff, and they use powerful acts of holy faith, which are implied to be a kind of Gestalt psychic ability, kind of like the Orcs with their technology that shouldn't work thing. And that's an idea that I really would love to see implemented in a game.
Firing now.
Because we could, it'd be really nice to have a sort of really badass female character as you lead. Because yes, I happen to think we need more games with badass female characters. We've got some good ones out there, but I'd love to see more of them. Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. Bugger. Seriously, the most dangerous thing in this game? Bloody exploding squibs. You've got to be really careful, the little bastards. Does it? Okay then. Aha, here we go. Because in Fury mode, you don't even have to stun them before you stab them up to death. It's really quite effective. Once you've got the upgraded version of Fury mode, you can actually quite often kill two knobs with a single, in a single Fury by just executing them both immediately.
Stand clear.
There they come. Yes, as I say, so, and it'll be really interesting to see the Sisters of Battle's faith-based abilities actually getting implemented in a game. So once again, I'm probably going to have to... once again, I'm going to have to pause this just before we actually head out of this area. So I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next part.